JS Racing on the 25 Protection Senior League Organized Doctors Racing and from Edward Rocket, Roger Rocket on the outside of Hamlet, the defending series champion. The car for Whiteboard Outboard, the driver for Burlington, Washington. These three motor technologies racing at the Magster chassis of Jason Solwall. Rounding up the field, the 90M from Yale, Washington. That is Mitch Olson, the SCU.
The chalk line in turn 4 is where the front row is going to be side by side. If they are, Flagman Rick Daniels will wave the green flag. Mix, Mobile Mix Concrete, Rogers Racing Engines, Triple X, Grizzly Hot Rods, 24 Sergeant Chad Rose, and right beside him, the 77 Out Engine Problem Class 9 finishing 16th for the former Silver Dollar Speedway Track Champion with one ASCS win. And yeah, come on, championship night a couple of years ago. Finley Farms, Crockett Creek Trucking, Westmar Powered Maxim, originally from Chico, California, Stephen Allard. Set back 2 spots, and the leader, Garen Litter, sets the pace. Slowly, somewhat methodically. Youngest driver ever to make an outlaw feature. He did it right here last year. Well, we'll see if he can charge from the back to get a top 4. But again, remember, unlike previous years, we do have a last chance race. So you don't get to the top 4 this one, you still got one more. But they're not thinking about that yet. They're thinking about a top 4 finish in this. The B main, 12 laps, we take 4. Henry Van Dam, front row, alongside Brad Rose. Green flag. else into or onto the trailer. Gets Forte, front row. Races going non-stop. Last night, he starts eighth. He was eighth halfway through the race. Took the lead as they took the white flag and went on to the victory. And he said, that's the question. Did anybody beat Roger? It's always tough wherever he's starting. But when he's starting on the outside of the top, however, you just never know in this great sport. Anything can happen. All 20 present and accounted for, as mentioned, the common fourth storm, the Police Auto Group, ASCS Northwest Region, Ford F-150, leaf truck, slowly pacing the field around the Cottage Speedway. And you know what's coming up next. Some of you are already Cottage girl, you know what time it is? Of course you do. I urge everybody, yes, each and every one of you, get up on your feet for that sprint car tradition as we go forward live for you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Race number 2 on the season for the series and the second and final night of the first annual Lake Burnett Memorial Grove Classic. This is your feature main event. Right over here now. Canada. Roger Crockett, 16 career series wins. Jason Soul is second, he has 5.
Rocket lights are turned on. Around Cottage Speedway, which means we have to speed the green flag this time.
20 cars per laps,
$2,000 to win. It's time to batten down the hatches.
somebody quickly lock the door. Things are gonna get wild. Josh DeWitt, Roger Crockett, front row. Here we go.
it is. 10 laps to go. Roger Crockett at the point of the field. Brings him out. He's led all 26 laps. Can he lead the final four? Green flag. Minutes, but at the end of the night, just like it was last night, just like it was the previous two Northwest Region visits here last July. So the Friday.
I must have a battery in here for this thing to operate, so. Down here at the front stretch, in the civilian close flank, Roger Crockett, raise your hands, and then we're picking up the victory. Roger, my goodness, what a main event. There was a lot of cautions there, 7 to 8 back, plus a fuel stop in there. I imagine you were just like, gosh, is this thing going to get over?
Yeah, definitely. My kid almost yelled as soon as there was about 40 or something, but it would be nice to get into traffic and maybe get a little bit of distance there. That red flag, they told me we had a comfortable lead. We'll check out. We had a comfortable lead. As the top 1 and 2 started to go away, I started kind of a little bit easier down there. Next thing, here comes the white front wing, and I had no idea who it was. I knew I needed to get 3 and 4 down at bottom 1 and 2, and fortunately it worked out for us.
Well, as Fred mentioned, you had enormous amount of success. We were talking to you before the start of the main event when we were announcing starting line. So many statistics that go your name. This place in the Northwest, just able to put up a great dominance in this track, and it really showed tonight as well. And picking up your 11th straight Road Classic main event feature as well, that's going to be something special.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot of experience. All these kids coming up, they can put some fast laps together, but it takes a lot of years to go do it lap after lap. And, I've been on relay where before too, and, we got a good group of young guys coming up. And it feels really good, like you said, 11th in a row, 2011, part number 11, it couldn't get much better than there. And, who would have figured growing up I could have won 148 events before I was 30 years old. Pretty unbelievable. Just, because of all the help I had, a lot of people behind me, and, I'm now the best people I've ever had behind me in my life.
And Roger, what did you think of the track tonight versus last night? Was it a big adjustment for you and your team to make, or was it a pretty easy transition?
Actually, I think the car was almost exactly the same. They went quick different in the shop. It was a little bit different characteristics tonight, but as you all see, every time you come to Speedway, there's at least 2 grooves, if not 3 or 4.
And of course, hats off to your dad for operating this way. It was raining pretty hard there. A lot of people looked like they were loaded up and ready to head home. And it's so glad that everybody stuck around, even the fans. And my goodness, we were according to everything on all the forecasts, we should be here right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice to have a track member that actually looks at the weather forecast before they prep the track. We go to some of these other places, and they're out there putting 45 loads of water on it. And it's going to rain. It's just they know what's coming. They pay attention. They got this place dialed in, and that's why it's basically the best track in the Northwest right now. And it's one of the best tracks in the country. It really is. The Outlaws, National SDS, they all come out here and they love this place. It's still racing. So it's really nice to be, basically my home track. I'm a couple hours away. It's really cool to come race here a lot. And my fan support here has been really cool having that. And obviously my sponsors being, right here in Springfield. So it's been great.
And I would care to mention a quick shout out to all the people that made you get here tonight.
Yeah, of course, on the Sweeney Fire Protection Security, Steve and Kim, Jason and Ryan Sweeney, and BC Motorsports, my dad helps me out a lot in getting the parts we need to get on this thing and make it fast. Officer Racing Engine, TPC Chassis, and the crew, Ian, Randy, Dave, and Brady, and definitely couldn't be up here without the good hard work of all of us every night.
Well, Roger, congratulations on the win, and you over with this momentum into a couple of weeks for Memorial Day weekend. Should be a good season ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly. We're thinking about pulling the wing off next week here, but the weather forecast, who the heck knows, but we'll definitely be geared up and ready to go for the 3 days Memorial Day weekend. Can't wait.
All right, Roger, congratulations on the win, and we'll only stop celebrating.
Thanks again for the fans hanging in over this weather and sticking it out.
All right, racing, Roger Condon, that group picking up. As we'll be moving on to second place here with Henry Van Dam of Enumclaw, Washington. And Henry, congratulations. Second place, you started 16th. You had to play alphabet soup there a little bit. You had to go from the B into the A. But able to work your way up. It looked like a strong third there, able to get by Burton. It looked like you might have won that race. Your thoughts of the evening and the weekend in total?
Oh, you always think you're going to win them, but we had a good car there. Just came out tonight and just struggled a little bit. Weren't really sure, and just kind of kept after it, kept working, and kept getting the car better. And I kept changing my lines up and trying to get better. It worked out. We got rolling there once I got focused, and we started moving through. And I had a little bit of help from a couple of guys coming down and whatnot, but it was a lot of fun being able to move around and run some different groups and to run down Roger and actually race with him. It's a hard guy to beat anywhere, but especially here. So just a lot of fun. Felt like we should had a chance to win last night, made some mistakes, so to come back tonight and kind of a little bit of redemption feels good. And sure would have been nice to be Roger.
Oh, Henry, I tell you what, I'm sure you didn't want that last caution to come out because you got really the surprise on Roger there on the inside. You switched up high, and it looked like you had a good run going there, but that gosh darn yellow came out. And you guys were heading lap traffic. Do you think maybe if the yellow hadn't come out, you would have had a better shot at winning it?
That was my only chance. Once the caution came out, I know he had time to think about some things. There was no way I was going to get him at that point. So probably just a bit too early. I probably should wait a little more lap before I showed my nose, maybe. But it's the way it is. When you're out there, just going for the range you can get. Roger was a smart racer. You don't get too many things by him.
Well, Henry, you got a lot of great people behind you this season making this thing happen. You want to share with the fans?
Yeah, I got a lot of family that helps me steal their diehard with this. I put them through a lot of trouble. We have a lot of fun. My pit crew works their tails off all winter long to get what we got now. Dan Barry, Cole Ashdollar, Alan Sweeney, Michael, CMS Power, Sharp Racing, Factory Fame, much for us too. There's a ton of people that help us, and just so appreciative of all the people that help. We couldn't do it without them.
Well, Henry, I assume with what goes on from here, from tonight, going to be sticking home next week for an important race before the couple nights of the series will be up there for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Almost had a great racetrack this year, and it's been a lot of fun. They're making some improvements up there, so it's been a lot of fun to race. And Brian did an excellent job on the track again tonight. Last time was good too. And, it makes a lot of fun to race and come race for a guy like Brian here. And everything Greg does for the ASU is just a lot of fun to race.
Well, we're glad you enjoyed it and glad you're able to finish on the podium here tonight. And best of luck to you at the Alma as well as for the rest of the season for you.
Thank you.
All right, race fans, Henry Van Dam, from Washington, finishing in this river with him all fast. And Seth, congratulations on the victory there. Your thoughts of the evening, finishing third for the second night. Not too bad, but your thoughts from you.
We were good all night. We were good to eat there. Got a good job. Everything right there, the whole feature. Sometimes better on the track than sometimes not quite as good. But I feel like I get a shot pretty good here. We just never got that opportunity. Henry was rolling good. I wasn't real great on the restart, so getting the yellow didn't help me. And managing those guys didn't work out.
Well, it looked like your car was working pretty good for you for the majority of the race. And you were one of the cars, one of the only cars, I should say, we're in kind of the middle of the racetrack. Your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean,
Well, I know you're going to be up here from the Northwest for a couple of weeks and then head out after Memorial Day and then get back on the national tour. Just fill on some of the fans that might not have been here last night. Having problems. Going to be running at Alma probably next week for the big 2-day race up in Alma on Memorial Weekend, I said too.
right, yeah, we're going to be at Alma next weekend. And then we're going to be there the following weekend before the weekend to Austin, Alabama.
And before we let you go, I know, as you mentioned earlier, this weekend, car owner in town, plenty of people helping you with this operation. Looks like you got some good, strong help with you for this year.
Yeah, I got Michael, I always got him with me, like my right hand man down, my car owner, my dad's here, so Jeff, we got everybody that used to do this team and, being a new car owner, so hopefully we can get a win here when we're home for them, maybe a couple, but, I can't thank these guys enough for like I said, really, speech to Roger was giving here soon.
Well, Seth, it's always a pleasure to have you here. You've got some memorable moments here, and we're so fortunate to have you here as you're one of the rising stars in the entire country here. And we'll take time out of your busy schedule to come visit us some more.
Well, thanks. Like I said last night, I really enjoyed coming to this racetrack and putting on the show for these fans. I truly believe this is one of the best dirt tracks, all across the country. And I've been to quite a few, and it's one definitely on top of the list.
Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks in Lebanon, hopefully, and best of luck to you for the rest of your season.
All right, thank you, and thank you everybody for coming out.
All right, Seth Bergen, race fans, is going to Washington.